Good evening and welcome to the RTV Net, which is held every Tuesday night at 8 PM through VK3RTV. I'm Neil, VK3BC, or did I just say that? Anyway, this evening we're going to have Peter on VK3RTV1. I can see Peter's getting ready to go. Also, Richard will be coming up. That's VK3VRS and Clint VK3CSJ. And then it'll be back to me and I'll put it across to John, VK3ATV. So a few stations are watching this evening. So you can watch us through RTV via RF, which is the best way to do it. But anyway, if you can't do that, you can watch it on Richard VK3VRS's YouTube feed, his Discord feed, or the BATC feed. Stations that are checked in this evening that are just watching: Bob VK3BVR and Steve VK3TTF. So I don't know about you guys, but my antennas didn't like yesterday. They were being seriously whipped around in the wind, but they all survived. So anyway, just getting ready for Peter. I can see Peter's ready to go. So please switch across to RTV1 right now, and we'll wait for Peter on RTV1.
It always catches me turning around, but never mind. I'll get around to getting a control in front of me here, so we can be a bit smoother. But I'm Peter, VK3BFG, and thanks Neil for the intro there. During the week, it was pleasing to see Phil, VK3GMZ, up. Phil's one of two that get into RTV on occasions, not always, via knife edge diffraction from the other side of Mount Dandenong, which is a really interesting phenomena. We've now got two stations doing the same thing. So it's a bit like the bird going down the alligator's neck, never give up. And they didn't. And so yeah, it was good to see Phil up. And the other one's Peter, of course, as well. Phil VK3GMZ. Anyway, I've finished installing the switcher that I showed you briefly last week, and it works a dream. I think it was maybe 120 or maybe 140, I'm not quite remember, on AliExpress. There is a trick there though. You'll see the picture of this thing, and it's for 25 bucks or something or other, but just one click away and suddenly the image changes to something very much less. But you can click on that image, of course, and get it. So I'll show you how that works, and then I've got a very short video. I thought I'd get a few from the archives that people may not have seen or haven't seen for quite a while. This one's a very short one. It just shows you the controller that we use for the very expensive FET PA. It's got over voltage protection, it's got VSWR protection, and it's got temperature protection and over voltage. So it's got all of those. The VSWR protection is a sample of the reverse port of a directional coupler that I've got sitting on the output of the amplifier, and the forward port, I just use that to sample to drive the little ammeter on the front panel. So there's a directional coupler that's doing those two jobs. Anyway, it's a very short video, so stand by. I'll just show you the switcher first, and in its complete installation, and then we'll have a look at the short video. So a little bit of shaky cam here. Okay, just moving around, and you can see that's the little control box, which I've just got mounted up there, and the switch is down here. So I'll just go to channel 2, and it goes immediately to channel 2, goes to black first, and then picks up the video, and there's no rolling or any interference. And you can see up here that we've got now channel 2 selected, so we'll go right up to channel O and that's probably 1 there. No, that's 9 there. Okay, so we need to go back to channel 1 because that's where hopefully I've got what I need there. Alright, so stand by, we'll get the little video running, which has nothing to do with the switcher at the moment. So stand by.
See, basically the same functions are there. We've got the transmit key, we've got the high voltage sense, we've got the VSWR sense, and we've got the temperature sense. And inside the box we've got the microprocessor controller and the FET current switch. That's the little Atmel which runs the Intel instruction set, and there's a little pickaxe there which is doing the temperature sensing. The pickaxe talks to the Atmel. And then over here we have the FET switch. That FET is capable of switching up to about 25 amps. So at the moment it's switching about 7 to 8 amps, so it's quite comfortable. It is mounted on a small heatsink, but there's only 0.1 of a volt lost across the FET, so there's not a lot of heat dissipation there. Very efficient. And that there is just a relay which is controlling the action of the FET switch. And the relay is controlled by the Atmel micro. That's the back of the panel. You can see there's a floating inline fuse, and these are just the connections. Key in from the main controller and key out to the power supply, 12 volt power supply which is running the fans, and then there's the VSWR detector and the temperature detector. This is the VSWR detector. It sits on the reverse port of a directional coupler, and basically a diode detector in there. You can see the diodes there, or the diode, and there's a little tuned circuit there just to make it a bit more sensitive, although it turned out it didn't have to be. And then after that there's a little DC amplifier using an LM324 op amp, and we've got a test point here where we can just measure the DC out of the detector system so that we can see it.
Bit of a rough cut there, but I think you probably get the idea. Quite a number of the boards that up at Mount View right now, and the controllers were all done in the back of my garage. It's probably cheaper now to send away and get them commercially done, but it's a bit of fun to be able to do it on the spot without waiting. But perhaps when I make some boards in the future, they may go to China to get done. Anyway, that's it for tonight from me, and I'm running DVB-S at the moment, Richard. So if you key up now, hopefully we won't have too much of a disturbance as we change over. And I really wish I had one of the switches, those switches that I've got here, up at Mount View, because that would also make the thing a bit better. But anyway, it is what it is. We used the switches that we could get at the time when those controls were made. So anyway, VK3VRS to take it. This is VK3BFG. Over to you, Richard.
Wow, that was fast switching. Caught me by surprise. Yes, all good. It seems like over this side of town is dominating the airwaves at the moment. Must admit, it's actually good to be back transmitting again. I took a bit of an absence for a couple of reasons. One, my shoulder problems. I couldn't do antenna work, which I needed to do to fix things up, and it was really frustrating me. That's now not a problem. I can lift my shoulder up without too much problem. I just can't have too much weight, but yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, I'll do a bit of a shack tour in a minute, but I do actually have a video for tonight. It's one that I've had in the can for a while. I'm not even sure if I've shown it. I don't think I have, because it was fairly recent. But as you know, Mark, JMI and myself, we often go out and do an impromptu mad day. It's more us maniacs testing antennas or setups or something. So this is one that we did not that long ago, where Mark wanted to test some antennas. So we just went fairly local here, and this is just a snippet of one of the sessions that we had while we were there. So yeah, I'll put that on and see you when we get back.
You know, that's good. You're kicking the needle up also to about an S4 to 5, so no, that was well done.
Well, we can't complain with half a watt, can we?
Oh, no, well, yes, it is half a watt, isn't it? Yes, so no, it's good. That's pretty good. That's 50k across the way, so, and you're just skimming the city probably, or I'm just skimming the city because I'm beaming right at the TV repeater more or less, so you're right behind it, so there's a few buildings there that I've got to negotiate over.
Roger, I'm just spinning the dish a little bit more as you're talking, if you want to go again.
Yeah, Roger, not a problem. See how you go. VK3JMA, VK3 Juliet Mike Alpha Portable, VK3 Italy Echo, VK3IE, and Cloudy St Albans, over.
Yeah, that's about as best we'll get you, I think.
Yeah, no, it's not as good as before. Pick it up to a 5 and 4, so I'll give you a 5 and 5. I'll record it as a 55, size 5, over.
No worries, mate. No worries at all. Haven't heard Ray about, have you? He's normally in the same bearing as you are.
I haven't heard him today, but hang on, I'll do a bit of scouting and see if I can get him motivated. Just stand by and get yourself back on 439, maybe just do a bit of the odd CQ. You might get lucky.
Yeah, no worries. All right. Thank you very much. I'll await your call.
For live news on the planets, cosmology, sunspots and more, every Friday at 10 p.m. Clint VK3 CSJ presents the Astronomical Society of Victoria broadcast on this amateur television repeater, VK3RTV Channel 1.
And there we are. I love that little cog. It wakes me up and goes, whoo, get ready, you're going to get back on air. So, yeah, anyway, that was just a little bit of fun that we were having. You might have noticed, for those who were very observant, Andy was also there. He popped in because it's not far from his place where we were, so he dropped in and checked out what we were doing, as as he's an avid microwaver as well. So there's a few of us around that like getting out and about and playing around, experimenting. And as you heard, Rob IE was at the other end of that. We also had a few other contacts on that day in testing different antennas on different frequencies. So lots of fun. Highly recommend it if you are even remotely interested in microwave, to get in touch with any one of us and yeah, get out there and have some fun. It beats sitting in the shack. You get to go and socialise with some people, make some contacts, learn some different skills, some different ideas. It's great fun. Now, reason why I'm back on air is because I've been a rather busy boy, and I have actually finally got some stuff happening. Now, I'm going to have shaky cam here, so in the background, actually no, I'll flick it across. Good audio? No, now. Okay, so here's my normal setup, as you can see. So there's my PC and all that hasn't changed, but down here has I used to have a video recorder sitting here, an old VHS and DVD combo that used to be there. This thing used to be under this area here, along with these and the set-top boxes, which are way down there now. Don't need to touch them, so I pushed them out of the way. And I've re-brought this little switch box into the fray as well, instead of having some splitters. So that's moved there, which has made it much easier to now, if I need to make any changes to all the HDMIs, then easy done. I can reach them now. I just have to push that little monitor back up against the wall, and yeah, Bob's your uncle, or in my case, stepdad. The audio is still in a similar place, except now I've made it facing me rather than that way. You can see my transmitter there. Oh, look, there's another little device that I'm going to play with soon. Haven't quite finished everything yet. You can see there's the DVB-T transmitter. And sorry to everyone. Accidentally leaned on my switch. Sorry about that, everyone. Lean on a remote control. That's going to always happen. Too many things in the way. But most importantly, I've reset up pretty much all of my station. So I can talk on every band now. I'm happy. Even, you know, that band that's below operating, you know, look. See, low, even that one down there, I don't know if you can see them, can't quite reach it with there, but that one there, 6 meg, woohoo! Don't even look, I can even talk on that band too. Not that I get there much, I'm more on this band. Much more important, much better band to play on. So, yeah. Anyway, as you can see, I've been making a fair bit of progress. I've even started cleaning stuff down here. So, and all under here, all nice and cleaned up a bit now, so it's looking a lot better. Even my workbench back here, a lot cleaner than what it was, that is for sure. So yeah, so that's yeah, the shack. Anyway, Clint, if you are ready, I'm going to change this over to something a bit more. Just get your finger on the pulse. And yeah, have a think about starting to transmit. Anyway, I'm going to hand it over to Clint. I'll go to my test pattern, and Clint, I'm on DVBS, so there's going to be a bit of a clunky changeover because I know that you'll be on T, but all good. Anyway, thanks everyone. Hope you enjoyed the little shack thing, and and pretty much all, I forgot to show you, sorry, one more thing, sorry. Forgot to show, so people are in the know. I moved those big fat coaxes there, So they're coming down into there. I've still got to fix that up, make it look nice and neat, and put a proper connection there, because at the moment they're just loose connections there. So that's going to be all sorted out. Hence why the meter's not. I haven't even checked. All these things to test us. Anyway, so yeah, that was a quick view. You can see the patch panel is there. Mounted. I'm about 90% fixed up, and I've got some antenna work to do outside. Which, with all these winds, thankfully, the antenna work that I had done, like putting up the 6 metre vertical and redoing a few other bits and pieces and moving things around. Obviously, when you do all that, you tighten everything back up and make sure everything's good, and checked all the guy wires and all that sort of stuff. And I'm glad I did, because that wind, and I've got quite a few grid packs up there, and by crikeys, they were making some singing noises. There was a lot of singing noises going on. Anyway, Clint, I'm going to now hand it over to you. I'm going to go to the test pattern, and see you all next week.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. This is, I've taken a free ride on the International Space Station, so we're coming down from space. I wish. Anyway, I've been transmitting since you said you were going to put it across to me. I've been transmitting. It takes 30 seconds for this DVB-T thing to start actually doing its thing. So, and all of a sudden you remembered to show us something, and it's been transmitting all that time. So I wondered how long it was going to take with the DVB-T signal already absolutely running. So it's still, as soon as you dropped off, it still took some time to switch over. My kingdom to get the DVB-S system back up and running. Anyway, g'day Neil and Peter and Glenn and anybody else that's watching. Not sure who else is up on RTV2, coming up on RTV2, apart from yourself there, Neil, but good evening anyway. Haven't really got much to show, but I thought I'd at least come up and say g'day to all you guys. And always impressed with the work you do, Pete. I don't know whether I've asked this question before. It's probably a silly question, but a lot of that circuit board stuff you manufacture for these projects, I assume that you do all that PCB work, artwork yourself. I assume that it's the old etching process. I don't know whether you maybe use UV lighting or whatever it is. It's how it's done exactly, but if it's the old etching process in a little bath and etch away.
Iron on etching.
Sorry, what was that, Pete?
Iron on etching.
Right. Okay. Oh, I see. Most impressive. It really does contribute to the overall abilities you have. So it's just fantastic, excellent stuff. The only thing I've got to show as a progress on the 3 metre dome. I think last week I showed you the pillar, the metal pillar finally arrived, and this weekend was mostly spent in the garden, although Saturday mostly. So I spent most of Sunday, well, not most of Sunday, but the last few hours of light on the Sunday working inside the dome. And if I just cut to this couple of shots here, that's the concrete pier. That sits, there's a great big mass of concrete below the deck, and that concrete pier is isolated from the whole deck. So what's going to happen is that that's freshly painted. I put a couple of coats of paint on that, so I've been waiting for that to dry. It was dry at this time, by this time. Anyway, on top of that will go the pillar, 600mm long pillar, which is what this sort of looks like. So at this stage, this is now, I've mounted I've drilled 4 holes into the concrete. Something I'm not a totally expert at, and I put the pier, positioned the pier on the concrete, and then marked it with a texter. So where the dots of the texter were, that's where I drilled. But I don't know. There's still a few things that we decided to go white skew if. However, I was experimenting with chemical anchor bolts. It's the first time I've mucked around with such things, so it was a bit of an experiment. When you're using chemical anchor bolts, I don't know if I can zoom in on that as on the fly. Okay, so it's not that one. What I want to do is, just bear with me for a sec. I'll go back to the before shot, and what I'm going to do is just zoom in on those bolts. Should be able to do that on the fly, I would have thought. Here we go. So yeah, the idea there with chemical anchor bolts, you've got to drill an oversized hole. So they're 8mm bolts, chemical anchor bolts, and you have to drill a 10mm hole. You'd think, in fact, I was thinking from the beginning that seems a bit odd. There's no grip for those bolts. They're sitting in a hole quite loose. But of course, it's the glue that you pour into the hole that does all the work. So it's a special glue, and it mixes as you squeeze the trigger on the dispenser. It mixes the glue, and the idea is you pour the glue into the concrete hole about 2/3 full, and then as you push the bolt in, it squeezes any excess out. And it doesn't take too long to set. It's about 6 minutes for it to become quite firm, and then after 50 minutes or so, it's where the bolt can be used under tension. So anyways, I made a small mistake. I should have, while the bolts were still quite fluid in their hole, I should have put the pier on top of the bolts and aligned the bolts up absolutely through the holes in the pier, in the pillar, and they're roughly lined up, but the pier doesn't fit right on exactly, so I'm going to have to hammer the bolts just slightly on an angle to get them to fit. A big frustration when that didn't go on as planned. But nevertheless, the bolts are relatively in the right positions, so I don't have far to go. But anyway, that's the concrete pillar. Piers and pillars, I keep getting them mixed up. Concrete pier, like I say, it's isolated from the rest of the dome and the deck. So when I put the pillar on it, and ultimately the telescope, it'll isolate itself. So I can do astrophotography with risk any chance of any vibration being transferred through to the telescope will be minimal, if not completely isolated. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, that's as far as I got this weekend, and I'll get back to it. I'd actually like to put another coat of paint over that, because you can see that where I've tried to wipe off the glue, it's like I said, it sets pretty quick, and just using a bit of paper towel to wipe off the excess, it smudges the surface of the paint. So I don't like the way that looks, so I'll put another coat of paint over that so it sort of looks a bit better. Anyway, that's the latest there, and by this time next week I should have the pier mounted and bolted, and maybe the telescope control system as well. Meanwhile, the only other thing, I've lost my fluoro. There's a second fluoro light in the ceiling up here, but it's just gone off. I just turned these lights on before going on TV, and blasted fluoro there's gone out, so that's why it looks a bit dark at the back of me there. Just the other thing I'll show you. Occasionally on YouTube, I see folks using wireless microphones, lapel microphones and stuff, and the last time the first time I purchased a wireless lapel microphone, I thought, this is great, this is going to really work super well for doing this sort of thing, so I don't have to rely on the microphone here. But the silly thing didn't work properly. I don't know why, but I couldn't get it to work. So then there's a lot of ads on Facebook. Anyway, there was another kind of wireless microphone, and it's 2.4 gig stuff, and it seemed to be impressive. And I thought, well, let's see if this will work. And this is the box that it comes in. Now, you guys may have seen that. So I decided to get one of those, and it came through. And that's the little housing box that it comes in, the whole thing. It's actually quite heavy. I don't know why it's so weighty, but it's a metal box, and it's got some weight to it. So I'm not sure what makes it so weighty. I haven't experimented with it yet. It's like everything I get. It either sits in a box for months on end before I get around to opening it up and having a look, like those other radios. We'll get there. But this is as far as I've got. And they come slightly charged up, so if I open it, you'll see that they basically fire up straight away. And what it is they're looking for the receiver. Come on, camera, focus, stuff here. There it is. So anyway, so like I say, that's the device that sits with your camera, and yeah, my kingdom for a camera that focuses when you want it to focus. So there it is finally. So well, you can actually see it working. It's interesting. One of the microphones are actually picking me up. I don't know which one it is, but one of them's picking me up. So, so with that connected to your camera, you should. And I've just broken it. It's now dropped on the floor. But One of my cats has made a mess here. Not a mess, but they're going from the spiral staircase to the floor and knocked a box over, and there's parts and stuff and magazines all over the floor here. Cats. But there's the. That's actually the microphone there. And it really is not professional the way you have to do this, to muck around with these things to go. There we go. So there's the microphone, and that just, you clip that onto your shirt or lapel or whatever, and I believe it's got about a 200 metre range or something like that. And that's actually a charger too. This box is the charger. That's probably why it's so heavy. It's got a transformer in it and a charging circuit, and you can see the little USB-C connector on the back there, and you just plug that into a USB socket and charge, away you go. Anyway, I'll eventually get that hooked up to go, and the transmitter here is on the floor somewhere. It's gone for a trip somewhere under something. So so anyway, I thought I'd get one of those because I figured there's a bit of a novelty in that. Anyway, I think that's about it. I'm picking up the 10 gigahertz dish maybe tomorrow. ICOM has informed me that there was a shipment that came today, and the 10 gig dish, dedicated ICOM 10 gigahertz dish, should be available to pick up. So I'll probably do a drive-by of ICOM tomorrow after work, and have that finally sorted out. Anyway, that's another story. But impressive stuff, Richard, with your with the portable microwave setup, particularly what Mark has done. Very, very good stuff indeed. So whether I follow suit is another question, but still, I know the fascination and the interest. It's good stuff. Good to see you back on anyway, Richard. And you've got a really busy looking shack there. So have I. But at least you've got a working TS2000. This is the TS2000 here at the moment. It's functioning on HF and 6 meters, but for some reason the PLL, these cats, the PLL falls over on 70 and on 2 meters and 70. So I've got to try and work out what's going on there at some point. So on that note, I think we'll pop it back to you there, Neil, on RTV2. So I'll go back up to the International Space Station. We'll see you all next week. Thanks for watching. This has been VK3CSJ in Narre Warren South. Have a pleasant night, guys.
Right, thanks for that, Clint. And I looked up that wireless mic on AliExpress. Looks quite interesting. I await your report next week before I go ahead, but it does look like it's fairly good quality, so that should be good. I was going to show a small video on the layout of my shack, but when I played it back here, something was wrong with it, so I might do that next week, just give you a bit of a rundown on not only the video section, not the whole shack, not all the other radios, just the video section, the switching and the monitors, so I might do that next week. So if you're ready to go, John VK3RTV, I'm on T. I switched across to T, so it'll be a very quick changeover. When I turn off, John, you should be able to pop straight up, so take it away, John, VK3RTV.
Good evening, everyone. John, VK3RTV in Williamstown. It's been a while since it's been a number of weeks since I've been on the net, transmitting or receiving. So it's good to be back. It's really great to see what everyone's doing in their shacks. Peter improving RTV. As he often does, so that's great. Good to see some different video switching techniques. Richard, your HDMI wiring is certainly a lot neater than mine. I'm not excuse me, I'm not sure whether I could even contemplate pulling the shack apart and putting it back together again. But it looks good. And Clint, let us know when the christening barbecue's on for the observatory there, so we can all come around and have a look. It's been a long-term project, but it looks like it's coming together, so that's great. And like Neil, I'll be interested to see how you go with that wireless microphone. I too had a quick look at it, and not sure whether it's a USB-C output, whether it actually has a 3.5mm audio out or not. So be interested to see how good it performs. Like many of us, I bought a cheapie on online, and yeah, the audio is just not good enough. Anyway, just for those who are watching and interested, I'm running DVB-T tonight using the high desk transmitter. It's 920 by 1080 full high definition, or 1080p. And 16 by 9 widescreen picture. So and using a 4K camera. I've got a video tonight. It's about 15 minutes long, which is why Neil's put me on last. But I recently went to the Tokyo Ham Fair. So I took some photos and some video of that, and I rushed through a video last night. It's very rough. I'm sorry about that. There's no transitions in it. There's no credits or anything on it yet, and the music's all wrong. But I didn't have much time. I only got back a few days ago from my trip, but I thought I should get something together for tonight. So I will play that, and then I'll probably polish it up. But it'd be interesting, I think, for people to see just how big the Tokyo Ham Fair is. And just to give you a rough idea, Japan has the most radio amateurs in the world. They've got 1.3 million hams. The next largest is the US, and they've got just under about 700,000. So Japan's got nearly twice as many as the US. And when you look at the total ham population in the world, I think Japan's got just under half, so they're very, very active. And I went to Tokyo. There were four ham radio shops. In Osaka, there were 3 ham radio shops. So yes, they're quite fortunate, and that's because there's so many of them. We just don't have the numbers here in Australia to really support too much ham radio retail, particularly shops, walk-in shops, unfortunately. Anyway, I'll run this video for you just to give you an idea of what was there, including the release of the IC 7300 Mark II, which was very popular for everybody there. Okay, so that was that was a glimpse of the Tokyo Ham Fair. It wasn't very good for some reason. The video was a bit jerky once I produce the video, so I'll have to go back and look at that, shorten it. Things weren't quite in order, but anyway, it hopefully gave you a bit of an idea. Interestingly, there was a shot towards the end there of the Japanese Award Chasers Club, which we stopped and talked to. We filled out a form. All those people that were in that photo signed it, and we got an award for talking to 5 JA operators. So that was probably the easiest radio award I've ever got. So it was good. The ASU stand, all those radios were all connected to antennas, so you could operate them, and it was a good experience. To be able to get there and have a look at it, although the weather was very hot over there. All right, that's it from me tonight. I'll hand it back to Neil. Oh, one other thing, Clint, you probably would have seen got a glimpse of your 10 gig antenna there too. The ICOM 10 gig dish was in the video. All right, that's it from me. Thanks everyone for watching tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. And hopefully we'll see you at future nets. So back to you, Neil. This is VK3RTV in Williamstown. 73s, everyone.
Right, thanks John. I trust you came back with some full suitcases. I'm sure you bought something. You must have. I actually thought of going to that, and I didn't know if anyone that was going. Maybe you'll go next year. I'm not sure whether it's on every year or not. We do have we had up to about 20 people watching on Richard's YouTube channel, so that's fantastic. Thanks for watching, guys. So that's about it for this evening. Just an update. I was monitoring a 6 metre repeater just earlier this evening, and there's a few stations on ATVs actually. So there's a new repeater or repaired repeater on Mount Macedon on 53625 is the output. I think it's VK3RHF for those people that work on the lower frequencies. So once again, thanks for watching. We'll see you all next week. Cheers.